Okay, let's think about leadership for a second. We often assume, right, that the best leader is, well, the smartest person in the room, the one with all the answers.
Yeah, that's the common picture.
But what if sometimes the most effective leaders actually have to learn to stop being that person?
Interesting idea.
Today, we're doing a deep dive based on some really insightful stuff from a source called Beyond Brilliance, The Adaptive Leader's Journey.
Sounds good.
And our goal here really is to unpack the journey of one specific leader, Marcus Chen. We want to see what surprising things we can learn about real leadership, especially in those big, tricky organizations.
And it's not just about Marcus, right? It's about what you, listening, can maybe learn about adapting your own strengths.
Exactly. So Marcus Chen, tell us about him. The source paints him as this, Silicon Valley legend almost.
Yeah, pretty much. 20 years out there, 3 successful startups under his belt, known for just slicing through red tape. So this Fortune 500 tech company brings him in as head of innovation.
And the mandate was
Or
basically...
shake things up. That was the literal phrase. They wanted disruption. So
Yeah.
Marcus, well, he did what he knew best.
Came in swinging.
Totally. Questioned everything, challenged all the established processes. He was like, let's scrap this 15-year-old quarterly review thing. Let's do daily stand-ups everywhere. And get this, he wanted to remove 3 layers of management approval for any project under 50 grand. Just boom.
Okay, so classic disruptor playbook. I think a lot of us, maybe, have felt like that, Marcus Chen, sometimes. You walk in, you see the problems, you have the solutions, and then you hit a wall. What happened when Marcus brought all this fire?
Well, it wasn't quite the reception he expected. It was frustrating for him, incredibly so. People's eyes would just glaze over when he talked.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. They'd nod, politely. But then, nothing. Nada.
Huh.
He started noticing people kind of avoiding him in the hallways, his calendar. Suddenly wide open.
Ouch. That polite brick wall. If you've ever tried to drive change, you probably recognize that feeling.
Absolutely. It's that feeling of, we hear you, but no.
So that must have been a bit of a shock. What was the moment things really shifted for him? The wake-up call.
It happened in this pretty tense meeting. Marcus had just laid out some big change for product development. And the CFO, he just leans back in his chair.
Okay.
And he wasn't aggressive, more honest. He just said, Marcus, we've been doing things this way for 40 years. Maybe, he says, maybe there's a reason some of these processes exist.
Wow. Just like that. 40 years. That puts it in perspective.
Exactly. And that was it. That was the moment it started to click for Marcus.
So what was the big realization? What did he finally get about the place he was trying to change?
He saw he'd been trying to turn this well-oiled machine, a company totally built on precision, on reliability, established ways of doing things. He was trying to force it into being a Formula One race car.
Ah, okay. Demanding speed from people focused on stability.
Precisely. He was asking for agility from a system perfected for, consistency. His whole approach was just fundamentally clashing with the culture.
So being the change agent wasn't cutting it. What did he do? What was the breakthrough move?
This is the cool part. He shifted. He stopped being the change agent and became what the source calls the change translator.
Change translator. Okay, what does that look like?
Well, instead of trying to just eliminate those old quarterly reviews, he suggested adding something new alongside them, like a monthly pulse check.
So evolution, not revolution.
Exactly. And instead of trying to tear down the management structure, he started working within it to make approval smoother. He framed his ideas as ways to build on what was already working, not just replacing everything, building bridges, not burning them.
That sounds much smarter, honestly. More strategic. Did it work? Did people respond differently?
The difference was night and day. Seriously, the same people who were giving him the polite nod before, they suddenly became collaborators. Yeah. And that CFO, the one who gave him the wake-up call, he turned into one of Marcus's biggest allies. Within 6 months, they actually got more meaningful change done than Marcus had managed in his whole initial scorched earth phase.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But it brings up this interesting point about authenticity, doesn't it?
Yep.
If he's adapting so much, is he still being true to himself? Is there a risk of seeming fake?
That's a really key question, and the source dives into it. It argues that true authenticity isn't about being rigidly the same in every single situation. It's about being genuinely you, but adapting how you express that self to serve the specific moment, the specific need.
Okay.
Think about a master chef, right? They're still the same brilliant chef, but they don't use the exact same technique for a delicate piece of fish as they do for a big, thick steak.
Yeah.
Different ingredients need different approaches to bring out their best.
That's a great analogy. So effective leaders need to read the room, understand the ecosystem.
Exactly. And then adapt how they lead, how they introduce change so it can actually take root and grow. It's not about compromising your core values. It's about finding different ways to express your strengths, deploying them wisely. And for Marcus, this whole thing was transformative. 6 months later, their innovation work got featured in a major business publication, and he realized the change wasn't just in the company, the change had happened to him too. He learned to lead with wisdom about when and how to use his brilliance.
Yeah.
And the source has this really profound line. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not be yourself, at least not the version of yourself you've always been.
That really makes you think.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to you, the listener,
Yeah.
what does Marcus's story mean for you?
Yeah.
I think it suggests that real growth maybe happens in that space between who you are now and who you're becoming as a leader.
Right. And it leaves us with this final thought, a challenge really from the source material. The question isn't whether you should change, it's whether you're brave enough to become the leader the situation actually needs.